Welcome back to Indian Trace. On the bottom compartment of my display quality artifacts in a box that I keep my display quality stuff are compartments that are really seldomly seen. All these points you're looking at right here are in the inch range. As you can see, variated materials. We're going to get a good close-up of all these just to share them. A lot of these never made it to film, so it'll be fun. Some did. I know this one hidden down behind here did not. So we're going to check a lot of these out and just want to share them in a way that's unique. I remember my inspiration. We'll start with this one, which came from Mecca. Came actually from Jonesy. A lot of you know him. And it was because he had like a bowl of points and he would just pull them out and check them out and we'd be able to enjoy them. And I really did enjoy seeing what his finds were. So maybe this will help inspire some of you guys just to show some of the stuff you found and just put in your display quality stuff over the years. Of course, like this, some of the material is just fine looking rock. I don't even know what the material is a lot of times, other than nice looking stuff. But you know, you go through the years, and for me, as I say many times, I haven't really been collecting a whole long time. Look at this point here. This point came from Sand Hill. You grab them and you say, man, I really like that. That's going to go in my collection. Pieces that you just tend to take a liking to and you can find pretty unique. Look at this base. So all in all, you know, the community, archaeological community, if you will, here on YouTube is fantastic. There's been some great comments and some great appreciations in some of the displays I've been trying to set up just to share this stuff. Because publicly, I mean, who would have known that we could even possibly, I mean, let alone find it, but be able to share it with dozens and dozens, and I start there, I mean, I don't even want to say hundreds, who in the world knows, of people across the country who could enjoy the artifacts of different regions. That's a nice point, isn't it? Who would have known? Excuse me. Look at this point here from Saponi. The one on the bottom. But to me, point after point that just earns its place in the inch quality category. Great stuff. Now look at this point. I know this came from Mecca. Rhyolite. And what I have tried to do is do something where I will not travel too far, taking anything for granted. Another point that's very similar to that one. So in terms of, like these, I haven't even pulled out for a year. I haven't pulled them out of that one cubby hole where I keep them for 1 year. So it's good. It's good in all aspects. I mean, look at these points. Just quality stuff. Now, let's take a couple points that are a little different. Let's try this one. This one came from, oh, my focus went out. There we go. This one came from Stillwater. Talk about a unique point. Look at that thing. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? Anyway, we have other points here as we look over this whole group and we go through very unique stuff. Here's another piece that is serrated. I just pulled that one that was serrated, so I'll go in here and just grab this one. I know this came from the Rise. Now you can see why these all find and sort of earn their place in my displays. A point from the lookout right here. To me, stirring up my appreciation when I can't find a whole lot, when things aren't really open, I'll go back in time, both on your videos and a lot of guys out there. You know I will go back in time and check out what you have found in the past, and even anything new. Of course, new stuff. We all watch the new videos, but I'll go back in time and check it out. Look at this point from Saponi. Just a little nick off the tip, but that doesn't bother me any. This is a really unique looking point right here. Worth keeping. Worth keeping, at least for now. And as we go through this, there's a lot of different things. I mean, you have little spikes like this. If you can see the color in this green rhyolite, it's just made very well. Just to do what it needed to do. So those always sort of earn a place with me. Alright, I'm looking here. Here's another simple one just like that. Little Marl Mountain. So even though these are simple, I'll go ahead and I will save them and get a place for them all in my collection. Here's a point I found in Saponi probably 4 years ago. One of my very first points before I even knew the site was credible was this guy. Turned out to be a real nice point though. I was happy with that. Look at this point. I remember finding this well actually let's go with this one. Ravona. I see how many points I have here and what my time's clicking away, so I'm trying to give the best view as I can. And like I said, all of these are coming out of one display bin. So when you've heard me say that things are overwhelming on some of these sites, it's so true. They really do get that way. Look at this piece here. Coming off a B&B field. Just a fantastic looking point. Varied materials when it comes to points. Reddish brown right here. So to me, I say to myself, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to just leave them out there if you're going to travel that way? Not me. Not me. Well, actually, my biggest challenge is to try to find a way to keep my to keep thinning my stock, to make sure that I keep my collection balanced, as well as my heart generous, at least as much as I can do for generosity, sharing with people. Because I'll go through this and say, well, it's about time I'm gonna give this piece away. And I've heard some guys say, they've given so much away and they really wish they had. I don't know how much they gave away, but as you can see here, and I'm showing all this, some of you know I do give some stuff away, and I've sold a little bit. I mean, I don't advertise it, but the way I see it, and if you're collecting, is I'm always making sure. Look at this little point here. That I keep enough to really satisfy me, which is a ton, which is a whole lot. My display box currently balances out at about 800 points. 800, and that's a lot. That's a nice point, isn't it? Love it. Let's put him up there. Now, I'm just sort of going through these things and checking them out. And so because of the fact that I know that's how many points are in there, I often go through because I'm always adding points that, exceed other points. It's sort of like a bass fishing tournament. You catch a better bass and you let one go that's not as good. And that's what I do, but I don't just throw it out in the dirt again. I'll give it away and move forward. So that's sort of the way I do things. And it works for me. I keep that balance. I keep the balance of hammerstones too. It's just an idea for people out there. Look at this point. Not bad, right? They are basic, but for a reason here or there, I'll save it. And I'll say, that's a nice favorite. It makes a good point. Like this one. Or this one. You can see the contrast of this area around here. Now I do want to share this and let you know, when it comes to the tackle box I have, what you're seeing again is one compartment, which is really mind-blowing when I pull them back out, because I haven't seen these in a year, and it's just crazy to me that I have this many. It's making me take this much time with them, which is no big deal. It gives you a little bit of a hunt today. Look at the relief on that one. And some fun time out, seeing points. Look at this point. I've always liked this point. It's not broken. Look at that cortex on the base there in rhyolite. Just turns out to be a real nice point on that. So, you could say a ton of stuff, but look at these two pieces too to finish off. It's sort of overwhelming to me. So to keep my mind sane and sober, I'll look through them, I'll whittle them out, I'll set some pieces aside and say, okay, let's try to keep a psychologically good disposition about it all. Because neither do I want to get to the point where I just take absolutely great stuff that I'm going to regret and just give them away. I don't do that. I give plenty of great stuff away, and some of you guys out there that know that, but I will not either let myself get to the place where I destroy myself, where I come back and say, my God, what on earth did I do? What was I thinking? I try to keep a really good spiritual balance with it all. What I mean by that is what you're looking at here as I pan out, and of course, this is all fantastic Indian trace, but when I pan out, you're looking at one bin. I know that's redundant, but I want you to try to imagine this. In as big as 7 trade tackle boxes you can get, when one bin can hold a good group like this, then you got to start thinking about doing something to keep a balance. But thank you for tuning into Indian Trace. And just to give you a little bit of a tour here today, and to share some perspective, maybe to help with the collection that you're going to have one day, or that you have already, I don't know. But this is the best I can do. And I know there's some seasoned guys out there collecting, and they just say kudos to me, and it gives them some good ideas. So, hey, that's the best way I could think about it all. So all in all, I just want to thank you for tuning into Indian Trace. And that right there, I mean, where do you stop, right? Whew. Hope you find out there.